What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Joe, just your average Joe. We are hanging out in the garage as always. It is Friday, the 23rd of January. Did not get on yesterday. Just been busy with the storm that's supposed to be rolling in. This winter storm coming through the southeast part of the United States. Obviously, my wife had me, doing all the things to get prepared. So yesterday was just busy, but we are back. Don't have a whole lot to go over today. Haven't had a ton of sales. Things are definitely slowing down. Yesterday I did have $103 in sales. I already packed them up yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to get them shipped out. So if I remember correctly, it was I don't even remember, to be honest with you. What was this? Batman on PS3. Some Xbox game that I can't remember, and then a pink. I wish I could show it to you. A pink Xbox 360 controller that actually sold for $60 plus shipping. So actually, I think there was a Switch game for $30 is what it was, and then the Batman, and then the pink controller. So if you ever come across a pink Xbox 360 controller, I figured when I picked up the bundle a couple weeks back, I had picked up a PSP and an Xbox 360 and a bunch of games for like $100. I figured the pink controller was something special just because I've been doing this a while, and I've yet to come across a pink Xbox 360 controller. And don't you know, they're selling for 40, 50, $60, which is crazy. So anyway, sold for 60. I probably could have squeezed 70 out of it because there's not a ton of them up on eBay, but nonetheless, it sold quick, so that's a good thing. But overall sales have been slowing down, obviously. Obviously I'm not going to say eBay's dead, but I might title it for clickbait. eBay's dead. Oh my God, watch out. eBay's dying. No, but I might clickbait it, but because we haven't had a video pop for a while, so we need to get a video to pop. We did go over 850. We're at 851 subscribers, so that's a good thing. There's some news there. Yeah, so anyway, that's let's go ahead and dive in. If you have not hung out with me before, I've been reselling full-time on eBay for about 20, well, let me rephrase that. Been selling full-time on eBay for about 8-9 years, but I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay since 2000. So 25, 26 years, long time. Been around a while, been through quite a few things in my days. And we do this. This is all raw and unedited. If you're new with me, all raw, unedited. This is how we do around here. The first thing we like to do is go over comments, talk about the comments that have come in. We didn't get a ton of comments. The last video didn't get a bunch of traction. So we only got like 4 comments, I think. So we'll go over the comments, see if there's any good meat and potatoes in there that we can go over or touch on. And otherwise, we'll go over sales. I only had like 5 sales, so for a total of like $93.55. So whoopee. So nothing to not a whole lot going on in that neck of the woods either. So this should be a pretty short video for those that may be new with me. I like to keep it around 30 minutes. Monday videos are always going to be higher, obviously, because Mondays you got everything through the weekend. I don't do videos on the weekend, don't pack and ship on the weekend. So Monday typically is our biggest day, our longest day. But I try to keep the videos around 30 to 40 tops, 30, 40 minutes tops. But in this case, we'll probably be done with this less than 25 minutes, which is, unless I ramble, because if I do ramble sometimes. But yeah, I don't have anything else that's really popped off. I did get a negative feedback from a gentleman saying that another game didn't work, and it behooves me. I don't understand. It was now granted, I haven't tested. It was DuckTales. And he left me negative feedback and said that the case I sent was disgusting and the game keeps shutting down on me or something like that. I forget exactly what his verbiage said. And in fact, I'll just go to the verbiage. How about that? Let me go into eBay and we'll just read it verbatim. But that's my second. Well, the one I got the guy to take it off, so I got him revised. So I've only gotten technically the one negative, well, 2 negative feedbacks in the past 2 months or month now, which is the guy with the N64 controller, which definitely is he was a douchebag and not my fault at all. And then this guy I don't know, but you know, sometimes you take one on that he didn't never open to return. I'm not even going to reach out to him. I don't even care. Once you leave negative feedback and you don't even try to contact me, it's a wrap for me. I'm not even going to like. It doesn't happen very often. Luckily, I'm still at 99.6. Like it'll get buried in the next week. It'll be gone. You won't even see it anymore because it'll have so many positives. Maybe 2 weeks. But anyway, and I always reply to the negatives as well. I put a rebuttal and a reply. I'm not even going to ask for a revision. I'm not going to reach out to this guy. What burns me up most about customers is when they leave you negative feedback without giving you an opportunity to fix it. If he would have just reached out to me or opened up a return, done. Like, it's free returns. It doesn't work, just return it. You know, like, why do you gotta leave negative feedback? It's seamless. It's pretty simple. Generate a label, print the bitch, put it in your mailbox, done. It's you know, I apologize for the trouble. Send me a message. I'm sorry. I'll do the whole customer service, you know, put my customer service hat on. I'm sorry for the trouble. I understand it's frustrating. You know, definitely apologize for the inconvenience. You know, it's a free return. We'll definitely get you refunded as soon as I get it back. You know, unfortunately, you know, when we tested it, it worked. So I'm not sure what happened between now and then. But I will say that DuckTales has been sitting for probably a better part of a year in my pile of loose discs. Maybe over time, me taking discs in and out, in and out, in and out. I don't know. But either way, you know, that's why you got free returns. But anyway, he says, sent in dirty case, game skips while playing. That's all he put in the negative feedback. And so I replied back in my rebuttal, and I said, case was not part of the purchase. This was disc only listing. The case was only, in bold, used to protect, in bold, the disc and shipping. Furthermore, customer never reached out to me letting me know that he had issues with the game. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to eat this one. I'm not going to reach out and be like, hey, can you revise it? I'll do a return. I'll give you your money back. You know what? He can keep the broken game, and I'm going to keep my negative feedback, and we're going to just keep this train rolling. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. So that's that. But yeah, the discs, the cases, okay, fair. They're some of them aren't the cleanest. Some of them are cracked a bit and jacked, but they're only for shipping. I don't have the cases listed in or shown in the listing like that they're coming with a case. The cases are literally just for shipping. This is the first customer, and fuck, I've shipped out a lot of cases out. You know, loose discs with just the cases. I've shipped a lot out over the years. So I've never had a customer tell me like it's a dirty case. The case is not meant for the game. It's just for shipping protection. Like, I figure that's common sense. You know what I mean? Like, part of me is like, well, just put in the listing that it's going to come with a used, could potentially come with a used beat up case, only for shipping purposes. You know, like, part of me wants to put that disclaimer in my listings, just because this douchebag. But then the other part of me is like, nah, man, unless I get somebody else come at me sideways about the case being jacked up or broken or dirty or whatever, like, it's only for shipping. It's just to protect the disc in shipping transit. It's not, the disc isn't coming with the jewel case or a regular case. Like, they're not pictured with cases. It's disc only on all my listings. So I don't know. Y'all give me some feedback. Y'all let me know. Should I put a disclaimer in all of my disc only listings? I wouldn't do all the ones that are listed right now, but all the new ones, and just put a little star and say, you know, game will come with a, you know, game will come with a heavily used case just for protective purposes for shipping, something along those lines, so they understand that it's a case that's not very nice, but it's only for the purpose of protecting the game in transit. I don't think I should have to do that. Like, I feel like it's overkill. And because it's like 1 in 1,000 that I've had to have some douchebag, you know, leave me feedback. Could other customers have thought that to themselves and not left me the feedback? It's possible. But to go as far as to leave me the feedback on it, like, you know, and be anyway, it wasn't coming. Let's move on because I'm rambling. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So that's all I do have, and we're gonna leave that as is. So let me go back to sales, and then we'll jump into these comments. Negative customers sometimes, man. Let's see here. orders awaiting shipment. All right. So the first comment up is, by the way, I got to go to Tractor Supply today and fill up my propane tank because I got to have some propane, and I may buy another 5-gallon tank and fill it up with gas because our generator we're supposed to lose power. Our generator with 9 gallons of gas-ish, 9 to 10 gallons of gas will last about 20 hours, give or take, depending on the load. So I'm thinking about getting another 5-gallon tank to last us like, I don't know, 30-ish hours, give or take, of in case we get stuck and can't get out of the house for a day and a half. So anyway, that's my thoughts. What do y'all think? I think I'm going a little overboard, but I guess it's not bad. It's never a big deal to have another gas tank. Them 5-galloners are fucking expensive though, man. They're like $40 for a 5-gallon tank or something like that. They ain't cheap. Anyway, so that's what I'll be doing after this. Packing, shipping, and then heading to Tractor Supply to fill up propane and grab a gas tank. So, in fact, I may go to Walmart to grab a gas tank because I'd imagine Tractor Supply is a little bit more expensive. But anyway, Electron Man says, I have a local lady who does a huge garage sale twice a year where you can fill a $1 general bag for $1. It's crazy. It's some kind of charity fundraiser, and I'm guessing she gets a lot of drop-off donations. I usually walk away with a huge pile of stuff for around $10. That sale is, she has produced some unreal deals. I've been to a couple like that. Yeah, man. I love when I come across sales like that, yard sales like that. It's amazing. It's the end when they have a lot of good stuff too. At the last one, I picked up a massive stack of 70s, 80s country rock cassettes, most of them still in their cases. You know how many cassettes you can cram into a $1 general bag? I had over 100 total score. I ended up donating $5 for the bag just because, and they looked genuinely surprised. A couple years back, I grabbed 2 really nice vacuum cleaners, a Dyson upright and a high-end Kirby for $1 each. I know vacuums aren't really an eBay thing, but I kept the Dyson, still use it, and I gave the Kirby to my grandson since he needed one. Moral of the story, there are so many different ways to source great finds if you're willing to look beyond the obvious places. This is one of those local hidden gems. She's elderly. She doesn't do Facebook. She doesn't list anything online, just old school garage sale signs, and those are often the best deals where the best deals are found. You nailed it. You are correct. That's why I kind of like living where I live, because I've got the luxury of having the city, but I'm also in the country, and out here in the country sometimes there's those off the beaten track sales where they're just the old school. They don't advertise, so you do come across those, which is nice. So I kind of have best of both worlds now. I'm not in a huge city like Raleigh or Charlotte. I'm in the Fayetteville area, which, it's largely military and unfortunately, not as privileged folks as folks that live in like the Raleigh and Charlotte area. We don't have very rich, fancy area. Not to say we don't have some places that are very nice and well off, but those are far and few between. But anyway, it's mostly your average folks living in this area. I would say is the vast majority is more so your average folks demographically. Now, do you have the super rich around here? Sure, there's a few places around, and there's the super poor as well. But at the end of the day, I'm saying that to say, my city is not the best when it comes to yard selling. Like when I see a lot of the good yard sales, it's always damn Raleigh or Fuquay Varina or just the area, Raleigh and the surrounding cities or towns around Raleigh, which is like, dang, I'm not trying to drive an hour and a half out. I have though. Sometimes I'll map myself and I will go up there and spend a Saturday yard selling up in that area. Especially when we go camping, we're up there usually for a week or two. So I'll definitely yard sell and go up there for, and do some yard selling. But there are occasions I drive up there just for that purpose. But around here, lots and lots and lots of yard sales with clothes, and kids' clothes mainly, and toddler and baby stuff. And it's just like, well, make me want to throw up. But you do sometimes get off the beaten path, and you're out in the country, and you're out in the the outskirts of the city and these little smaller towns, and you find a little gem. So I get it 100%. And you're right. Vacuums. It's funny you said that. I've sold a Kirby before. I've sold a Kirby. I've sold all the Kirby parts. before, and I've sold a Magic Queen, Magic Queen, Majestic Queen, I think is the brand, Majestic Queen, which is a type of vacuum, the canister vacuums. I've sold the canister part, the hose part. I've sold the whole thing. We've come across several of those when we were doing storage units, and I've surprisingly, I remember I think one we sold for like $250 or something like that. It was in good condition, had all the parts with it. So I'm not scared to ship a vacuum. I ain't scared. So if the price is right, I'll ship it. Now I ain't shipping a vacuum for $30, but I'll ship a vacuum for 100 plus all day. Anyway, so yeah, vacuums. Don't sleep on vacuums, man. I mean, I don't really source vacuums, but I've sold several in my day. That's why I said doing the storage unit thing, you sell stuff that you wouldn't even imagine selling, and you look it up on eBay and you're like, holy shit, are you kidding me? Well, I guess I'm putting that on eBay. You know what I mean? Like, like, geez, because ain't nobody going to buy that thing in our thrift store for $200. You know what I mean? So you'd be lucky to get $40 out of it in the thrift store. So, anyways, and then the Dark chimes in and says, "I agree. There's so many great ways to source, and also not have to break the bank. Absolutely." There's enough room at the top for all of us in reselling, which is great. And there's so many niches. There's so many ways to source stuff. There's so many opportunities. It kills me when I see people on, like, we have like an alert page on Facebook. I'm sure every city has it, like, where people, like, it's a community page for the city, and occasionally you'll see people post stuff like, I can't find a job making more than $10 an hour. How do people survive around here? And somebody just posted one like that a couple weeks ago, and I chimed in and I just said, find a side hustle. I mean, $10 an hour, yeah, isn't great, but it doesn't have to be the end all. And I mean, that doesn't mean you can't do a side hustle too, reselling is such a great way to supplement your income. Now, obviously $10 is a little bit on the low side, but in my city, that doesn't surprise me. But just as many jobs that are doing $10 an hour, there's just as many doing 15 and 20. You just have to, have the experience and do that. I mean, hell, I think McDonald's are starting you off at $15 an hour. So wherever you were looking at $10 an hour was like, go to fast food, because you can probably do 15 an hour at fast food or most restaurants, or be a waiter or waitress somewhere and make, with tips, probably 15, 20 plus an hour, with tips. Go be a car salesman. I mean, they're looking for car salesmen all the time. The turnover is huge in car sales. Granted, is it the best job in the world? No. Is there a lot of, from what I've heard in the past from some of my buddies that have worked in car sales, there's a lot of drugs going on in car sales business. A lot of kind of stuff happening. Yeah. I mean, at least used to. I mean, I can't speak upon it now, but at least 10 years ago when my buddy worked at, was major in the car sales, he used to tell me all the time, like, all them guys are all coked up. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But regardless, there's so many opportunities. Go, call centers. I mean, I came from a call center. Call centers start you off at $12 to $15 an hour. Great benefits, things like that. So anyway, but you can supplement. What I'm saying is, then you can supplement your income, whether it's $15 an hour or so, give or take, supplement it with reselling. And it's not hard to resell. It's not hard to get into reselling. I tell people all the time, start with just stuff in your house, man. Start small, start easy. Go around your house and pick up things that you haven't used in forever and you don't foresee using again, and just look them up on eBay and see what they sell for. I feel like that's where a lot of people don't know where to start. That's probably the easiest way to start, is just that. And then you'll probably be blown away at, like, holy shit, that's been sitting in my house, whatever item it is, has been sitting in my house for 3 years. I've never used it, and I got $40 out of it. Like, yeah, that's how reselling works. Now you just got to find that thing out in the wild for $5 and then resell it for 40 again, and rinse and repeat. And then your library of stuff gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as to, what you've sold and what your experience is. And, and then the cool thing is, hey, everybody has a phone, right? You can look the shit up. Like, if you have to, like, you get to a point like me and a lot of you don't have to look a lot of stuff up, but you get to a point where, or you get, you're out in the wild, you just look stuff up. I see it all the time. People just break their phones out and start looking things up because they don't know and they want to know what something valued at. Wow, so goes for $30 on eBay and they want $1 for it. Let me pick that up. Done. Like now it's just, I don't know. It just blows me away. Like it's maybe because I've been doing it so long, it's easy for me, but I just feel like it's easy for everybody, really. And there's such a large customer base, and there's so much money flowing in the secondary, used items. I think part of it is like people think that people don't want used stuff too. I think that's a roadblock barrier that a lot of people have that have never resold before. Like my best friend lives across the street from me. He's military. I own the house across the street, and he moved in back in like August. And that's one thing that he is now starting to realize because I do this and he's living next to me and he sees what I do. Before he used to have a hard time connecting or thinking like, why would people want to buy something used? Because he doesn't like buying used stuff. So he's got that mental block, like, I don't want to buy something that's used. What if it's broke? What if it doesn't work? What if something's not missing? Or, okay, well, I mean, that's when, as you become a better reseller, you identify those things. Is it broke? Is it missing? Is it complete? Is it fucked up? Is it whatever, and pass on that item, or know that you can fix that item, or you can buy like DVD VCR combos. They don't have a remote. They sell way better with a remote, and a lot of times for more than with the remote. Most people may pass because it doesn't have a remote. Well, us that have been in this doing it a while know I can go on eBay and buy a remote, or Amazon for that, or you get a universal remote, but you can also buy the actual remote for that unit for like $12, $8, whatever. You know what I mean? Like buy the remote, complete it, and then sell it for $30 more because you got the remote paired with it, and you're making money on top of that too. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, there's, I got a Vita upstairs, it's got a broken joystick. I bought the joystick. I opened it up. I'm going to replace the joystick on it. But somebody may have just passed on it because the joystick is messed up and they don't want to mess with it. And that's fine. That there's different levels of reselling, you know what I mean? And so some of us, know what can be done, know how to fix, know how to repair, know how to order whatever it needs to complete it, because we know we can get a premium out of it then, or can clean it up or whatever. And others don't want to mess with that stuff, don't want to buy dirty stuff, broken stuff, incomplete stuff, and that's okay too. But I think that's his roadblock is, why would you want to buy something used, and why would you want to buy something that's not, doesn't have or what? People do, man, all the time. It's wild. Trust me, it blows me away sometimes too what sells. So anyway, there's plenty of room at the top of the mountain for all of us to resell and to make some money. And whether you need $500 extra a month or you need $10,000 extra a month. I mean, obviously 10,000 extra a month, you're going hard, and you probably have a part-time job because this becomes a little bit more full-time at that scale. But you know what I mean? You can do it. Anyway, next one up, the Dark 25 also says, oh, you're talking about the Clifford the Big Red Dog. Yes, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Yes, that plush set is the set that I got, and it sold for like 70, 80, 90 bucks or something like that. I got all 5, 6, 7 characters. Yeah, I'm telling you, plush, man, don't sleep on plush. I recently went to a pawn shop and got a PS3 they thought was broken. I think I read this one already. Went to a pawn shop, PS3 they thought was broken for $28 flat. The only thing wrong with it was the disc drive didn't read discs. I was going to sell it as a whole parts, but I was going to sell it as whole parts I was going to sell it as a whole for parts, but figured I'd see if I could dismantle it and sell each part. Lo and behold, someone purchased the motherboard for $25. I put the details about the disk drive just in case, and a repair shop purchased it. All that to say, now I'm parting out and selling console parts. Man, trust me, man. Dude, what I would have done, and this is just what I would have done, is if I had bought that for $28, I would have bought the disk drive for it, because I think they're only like 30, 25, 30, maybe 40. I can't remember for PS3. But let's just say, I don't know, $30 on average, give or take, for the hard drive or for the disk drive for a PS3. I'd have swap, because I've done several of them in the past. I'd have switched that bitch out, and I'd have sold it with some games for about $140. I've got PS3 controllers. It sounds like it probably didn't have controllers or hookups, possibly. Anyway, I got controllers, I got hookups, I got several drawers and boxes full of things that I need for consoles and stuff like that. I buy the controllers. I'll buy them from XYAB, or I think I have extra controllers for PS3s that I got laying around for just for that. I don't sell them all. I do keep a couple of each console, so when I find a console without controllers, I can pair them with controllers. But I got PS3 controllers. I got the hookups. I'd have bought the hard drive or the disc drive on eBay. I'd have swapped that bitch out. I'd have paired it up with about 6, 7, 8 games. Then I'd put it on eBay for 150, 140, and it probably would have sold for 130, 140. Depending which one, the slims and the super slims, and the again, depending on the hard drive. If it's like, obviously 250 is probably the average hard drive. Typically 250, either one, slim or super slim, with like 8 games, sell for me for about 140, 150. But because it's easy to swap out the disk drive, too simple. I think you do have to do the board that's on the drive, the disk drive as well. If I remember correctly, on a PS3, I think the chip is married to the disk drive, so I think you have to swap the boards, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure you do have to do that, but it's just a couple screws and like a ribbon cable, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then you're up and running. And then you just take the old, you put the new one in with the new board, and bada bing, bada boom, you're in business. But to your point, when it gets to a point where it's not worth doing that, or it's other things that are wrong. I mean, Actually, I only have one right now that's jacked up, that doesn't work. I've sold many parts and repair consoles. Many parts and repair consoles. This is the only one I have currently, but anytime I can't get a system up and running for whatever reason, and I forget exactly what's wrong with that one, I've replaced the disk drive or the laser, and it still doesn't work. So something with the board, and somebody will eventually buy it for $20 and tinker with it. But yeah, selling systems for parts and repair, that's always a number in my mind. Like, worst case scenario, what can I get out of that? And some cases it is better to part it out. I just found out that the PlayStation Vita, if you have an original PS Vita and it says, if it's like dead, you can obviously sell the whole Vita for parts and repair, done. But the joysticks alone, if you have an original, because I had to order one. I had to order one from Temu or AliExpress is where I ordered it from, so I can fix my Vita, because the left joystick is fucked up. But they're selling on eBay for the original joysticks like $60 to $80. Even on Amazon, they're all sold out and they're third party, but they're like 30, 40, 50, $60 on Amazon too. So like, yeah, sometimes it is, parting out stuff is a good way to go. Trust me, I've parted out internals of many systems. The one that's off the top of my head right now that I can think of is PSP. A lot of little parts from PSPs. Now, granted, they're like $10, $15 pops. They're nothing crazy, but if I can't get the thing working, I'm gonna part out the parts in it. The board in a DS, I've sold the motherboard on a Nintendo DS, 2 or 3 of them in the past. Yeah, so parting stuff out, trust me, there's money there too, man. People need that stuff, or repair and fix that stuff. So absolutely. Next one up is Chance Dizzle, and then we'll move on. Last comment. Thank you for the reply in the last video. I have been listing lots of offers, coming and sold a few. But we'll take more photos today and list tomorrow, and that's the new workflow. Chill a day taking photos, and then spend a day using Terapeak and listing. Terapeak. Light me a little bit on Terapeak. I don't know anything about Terapeak. And another great video. Yeah, school me a little bit on Terapeak. What's that about? I heard, isn't that, that's the listing assistance app or system or whatever. Anyway, school me a little bit on how that works with Terapeak. I'd like to know. All right, that's all the comments. Let's move on to sales. Appreciate y'all commenting. Best way you can support the channel, share, share obviously too, but my main ones is watch, and subscribe. Watch, and subscribe. Let's go. All right, we had a total of 5 sales, nothing crazy. We had a controller, Xbox 360 controller. All right, Xbox 360 controller, third party, the PDP or Power A. So for 20 bucks, free shipping, nothing crazy. Arms. Arms. Arms on Switch. Wild Arms or Arms, anyway. Arms, Nintendo Switch sold for $27 free ship. Battery for, I think it's my last battery. I get a lot of these in the bundles, man. When you buy like bundles with like Xbox systems and things like that, you get a lot of like the rechargeable battery packs. So this is like an actual Xbox rechargeable battery pack. Sold it for $13, free shipping on that. Again, nothing crazy. Red Dead Redemption with no manual. With map, but no manual. I think it's this one. This one's got the map, but no manual. This one has, I think, the whole shebang. Yeah. All right, so Red Dead Redemption sold for, this is a map, but no manual, sold for $13 free shipping. And then Forza, let's see. Forza for Xbox One, eh? Forza 5. Forza 5 sold for $14 free shipping. $14 free shipping. So, again, nothing crazy. Easy pack and ship. Not even, I know, not even $100, so really didn't hit goal, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, yesterday didn't really hit goal either. Also did like $100 yesterday. So, you know, it's you got to take the good with the bad. I have not been listing much in the past several days, so that's obviously part of it. But my plan is to get some things up, obviously, especially during this storm. Like, there's going to be a lot of just sitting around, bundling up with the family, just hanging out. So I'll probably get to listing a bunch of stuff this weekend. So there's that. That's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with me. We'll see you guys Monday, assuming I'm not snowed in and don't have power. I'll be back on Monday. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Be safe, be warm. Hopefully you don't get hit hard by this storm if you're in the path. And we'll see you guys, like I said, on Monday. Bye, everybody.